mental perspective, and also how to stay on track with your eating during lockdown. Now, as I said, I am Claire from Alpha Fit Female, and I'm a mindset, nutrition and training coach. I've been in the health and fitness arena, I should say, gone for about 20 odd years. I've worked here in the UK, I've lived overseas in Australia, worked in New Zealand and in Australia as well. Done a lot of personal training, group fitness. I have written a book. I was also a little bit of a TV presenter when I was down under in Australia as well. So I helped to set up an online TV channel for the largest personal training franchise studio system over there. Was the resident nutritionist. I've written a lot of articles and blogs that were published in Oxygen magazine, Bride magazine, Marie Claire as well. And I've also written a book which is about competing called The Winning Physique. So I was a figure competitor when I was in Australia as well. Came second in Australia and Miss Sydney twice, and I was also third in New South Wales for a bikini model over 30. So I then moved back to the UK in 2014 when I fell pregnant with my son. So I now have a lovely, lively little 6-year-old who keeps me on my toes. And when I moved back to the UK, I set up a specialised pre and postnatal program, helping women through every stage of their journey. And through everything that I've done in each of those fields, there was always a common theme, which was preventing women from getting the results that they were trying to get. Or, they'd move 2 steps forward and then there would be something that would fall into, in their way. They self-sabotage, or they keep kind of repeating the, not mistakes, but, getting so far and then coming back. So from there, I guess I moved more into the mindset side of things, because once you get your mindset right, then you'll be able to go off and achieve better in other areas. So moved a lot more into doing the mindset, female empowerment, and just helping women to really feel the best that they can about themselves, and also have that self-belief and self-love, so that they're confident to go and want to achieve things, not just in health and fitness, but within all areas of their life. And, by improving their positivity, then improving their relationships around them as well. So do all of that, and obviously come down and teach classes and still do personal training as well. So really trying to help people be their best versions of themselves. So it's one of the reasons why I wanted to share my tips with you this evening. So I thought I'd let you know a little bit more about my background, so you know why I can talk about this. So first thing I want to talk to you about is food and nutrition. I know there's a lot of what I heard about the last lockdown was, oh my God, I've put on the COVID kilos, or, the average weight gain was like half a stone during the last lockdown, anywhere from half a stone up to a stone. I tend to talk in kilos from my Aussie days. And, this lockdown is supposed to only be 4 weeks. I say supposed to be because no one really knows. But, it's about trying to use that time proactively to make sure that you're nourishing yourself. And, once you create a healthy body to live in, and you've got an active body as well, then you'll notice that your thoughts and your mood and your, positivity will be so much better. And that will start from the inside. And so you need to create a healthy body to be able to have a physical active body, and also that healthy mind as well. Now, if you were going to drive one car for the rest of your life, you wouldn't put the wrong fuel in it. You only have one body to live in. So we try to fuel ourselves the best possible way that we can. And, there's many different eating diet plans, eating regimes, ways that you can eat out there. And I'm not going to talk to you about, what to eat and how to eat tonight. That's a whole different kettle of fish and ball game. It's more to do with how you use food during lockdown. So, making sure that 80% of the time you're eating close to a healthy, balanced diet. Making sure that you are staying hydrated, and then also noticing how you're eating. Oh, my bulb's just gone. Great. Noticing how you're eating, how you're feeling when you're eating, what's actually triggering you to eat. Is it boredom? Is it stress? Is it frustration? Is it loneliness? Those are the catalysts to potentially what might be holding you back. And then they come from that mindset perspective. So we'll go through a few strategies about that this evening. We'll talk about how to be more mindful when you're eating, and also have a look at staying positive as well. So as I said, healthy body starts from the inside, and it's all about putting the right nutrients into your body. So I spoke about the 80-20 rule. So if 80% of the time you're putting the right stuff into your body, then you can allow for that other 20% to, you know, for the chocolate, the biscuits, the cake, what have you, like that's going to be a small portion. And it's about trying to build the right foundations by loading up on the vegetables, loading up on the fruit, getting your nutrients in, trying to make sure that you're eating regularly throughout the day, and also eating the right blend of your macronutrients. So your macronutrients are your carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Now, everyone will have a different need for those macronutrients depending on, you know, age, whether they're male or female, what their activity levels are, what their goals are. You know, if someone's trying to build muscle, then they're going to have to eat more calories than someone who's trying to lose weight. And also, you know, if you're trying to build more muscle, then you're going to probably want to eat more protein than someone who's on a weight loss diet program. I don't like the word diet. You know, for someone who is highly active, and, you know, if they're out doing marathon training or triathlon types of training, then they're going to need a high carbohydrate intake to fuel all of that aerobic activity. So it's understanding who, you know, what your goals are, and you know, how your body works. Also comes down to age, like your lean muscle mass and things like that. So, you know, the rule of, you know, for healthy women, like, what is it, 2,000 calories a day? That's very dependent on so many other things. It is a good guide, but it's about finding the right foundations for you. And like I said, having it broken down so you are having a source of carbohydrates at every meal. Now, carbohydrates, you know, they're sometimes given a bit of a bad name, but if you're eating like your whole grains, you're going to be getting your fiber from, say, like your whole grains, rices, pastas, you know, potatoes are okay, bread's okay. Just, it's about trying to eat the right quantities and portion sizes at the right time. You know, you're going to be getting carbohydrates from your starchy vegetables, such as, like I said before, like potato, pumpkin, carrots, those types of foods. It's the carbohydrates which comes from glucose, which, you know, is your sweets, like the, you know, the sugar that you put in cakes and biscuits and things like that, and like your lolly sweets, jellies, the chocolate, all of that. That's going to be the wrong type of carbohydrates to eat. So it's about trying to put the right nutrients into your body, having a base level of carbohydrates, and then making sure that you're having protein in your diet as well. And protein doesn't just have to be meat-based or animal-based. You know, there's a lot of ways that you can increase your protein intake by combining your intake of foods from, like, your plants. So you'd combine like legumes and pulses, like chickpeas and kidney beans, and, you know, mixing it with quinoa, and then some grains as well. You know, like eggs, fish. They're going to have great sources of protein in too, and obviously you can get soy and tofu and things like that. So it's, you want to try and make sure that you're having protein at every meal, and trying to make sure that you're not having long spaces throughout your meals as well. So we have our staple, say, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and then you want to be having a mid-afternoon and mid-morning snack, to make sure that you can regulate like your blood sugar levels throughout the day, and stay maintain your satiety as well, so you feel full. And protein helps with that. Like protein, when you have protein with your meal, it helps to slow down the digestion of the glucose that's going to be going into your body from the breakdown of the carbohydrates. And also just include, you know, some good fats while you're eating as well. So we try not to be too fat phobic. You know, like avocados aren't evil. They're great food. They're full of nutrients. They're nutrient dense. They've got vitamin E in. They've got other nutrients in as well. And again, it's about portion size and understanding that, you know, a gram of avocado compared to something else, it's going to have more calories, but that's a good source of calories. So if you're going to have it, then have a small amount. It's going to be a lot better for you than having a Mars bar. Making sure that you're having an intake of nuts and seeds, so you can get all the wide range of your minerals, you know, like you see selenium, zinc, and that type of stuff. What else do I want to say? It's, you know, you can have saturated fat, you know, like your things like butters and cheeses, but you know, it's a small amount. So if you were going to be looking, say, as a base guide for your macronutrient breakdown, like 40% of your intake should come from carbohydrates, 40% from protein, and say 20% from fat. And then that's going to be broken down into 7% like polyunsaturated, which is like your fish. So you're getting your omega oils, monounsaturated fat, which will be your olives, and like I said, the avocado, like 7% of those fats, and a little bit of 6% from your saturated fat, which would be, you know, like the butters and the cheeses, and from the dairy. So and obviously if you're eating beef, then that's going to have a higher saturated fat content. So the essentials really are to build a better awareness and knowledge around what you're putting into your body and understanding food more. And, you know, like the team can definitely help, you know, individually. If you've got questions about that, that's fine. And then making sure you've got those foundations right 80% of the time, so then, you know, you can allow for that 20%. So it's then, you know, if you want to go and eat chocolate, or if you want to go and have cake or have a glass of wine in an evening, you know, you can enjoy it, and trying to make sure that you're not having any attachment to, oh, I shouldn't have this, oh, I can't have that. Because as soon as you start to put yourself in a like a restrictive negative mentality, that's when, if you do that constantly over time, like your natural what's the word I'm looking for, like the natural thing to do is to try and rebel from that. Like, I don't know about you, but that's what I would tend to do. So, you know, when you're constantly restricted, you're like, oh, I just want to fight back, and you know, so you will go and potentially eat the wrong things, and then you'll probably eat more of the wrong things. So knowing that you've got your foundation set in terms of your nutrition, and then also making sure that you've got adequate hydration, you know that your body's going to be getting the nutrients it needs, it can function as it needs to. And then, you know, like say if you did have a glass of wine and have some chocolate or crisp in an evening, then we just get up the next day, get back onto our normal eating regime, and not have any attachment or guilt thinking, oh, I shouldn't have had that, oh, now I feel bad about that. So choosing the language that you use around those instances, and, you know, if nothing's restricted, then it's a lot more free. And then, you know, if you use the word, say, like, I'm choosing not to have this tonight, rather than I can't have this, then you're going to feel a lot more empowered, and it's not going to feel so restrictive, and you'll feel better about yourself. As I was saying before, hydration is key. So, you know, your body's over 70% water. It's used in every function in your body for all your little enzymatic, I think that's the word, reactions, like all at your cellular level. So, you know, as soon as you start to become hydrated, you notice that in terms of like your performance, your energy levels, you have a slight headache, you have a dry mouth, and then you can start to have feeling quite sluggish and lethargic. And, you know, especially this time of year, we want to try and keep our energy levels up as much as possible. You know, it's getting colder, it's getting darker. We are restricted with lockdown and can't get out as much. So making sure that we can maintain our energy state naturally and in the right way, you know, we can be more in control of how we feel about the situation, and then how we choose to react to it, and then our mindset and staying positive throughout the lockdown period as well. So, you know, ideally 2 litres of water a day. If you're drinking a lot of caffeinated drinks or coffee, then that's going to be a diuretic, and that dehydrates you. So, you know, if you're having a coffee or a tea, make sure you're having water as well. Always start the day with a glass of water. That's going to help start flush your system out. You know, if you're not drinking enough, then you're going to start to feel constipated. If you're not eating the right carbohydrates, the starchy, fibrous foods, then that can also lead to constipation, which, if your hydration levels aren't on point, then that's going to make you feel even worse in terms of feeling bloated, sluggish and uncomfortable. And then when you're feeling in that way, you're not able to be at your best and then make the best choices in terms of wanting to move, wanting to feed yourself better, and then having those positive thoughts as well. So making sure that, like I said, foundations for food set, hydration is key. And then also being mindful of how you're eating. And what I mean by that is, like, are you one of these people who are constantly on the go and running around? Or do you actually take the time to sit down and, you know, savor your food, enjoy your food? They say, you know, your appetite and your hunger, like it starts with how you look at food. You know, whenever you look at it and literally your eyes light up, and then if it is pleasing to look at, then you know your saliva starts, and already that digestive process has started because you've looked at the plate and it looks good to eat. So it's becoming mindful of that whole process to I guess help improve your digestion. So when we think about trying to eat more mindfully, it's because we want our body to be in its parasympathetic nervous state. So you would all have heard of the fight and flight, you know, and you've also got your rest and digest. So when you're fight and flight, you're all like on the go, busy. All of your energy and all your requirements for your body are going to move your muscles so you can get away from whatever it is that's fight or flight. And when you want your body to be optimal with its digestion, you want to calm yourself down, slow yourself down, so get into your rest and digest process. So it's about creating calm around when you're eating. So being more mindful as well. So we're not on the go rushing and, you know, having 3 mouthfuls and a sandwich is gone. It's being really mindful to chew your food more, enjoying the flavors, savoring the textures that you've got in your mouth. You know, even put your knife and fork down in between like your mouthfuls and sit there and try to eat and chew more. There's a great experiment that you can do. Like next time you eat an apple, bite into an apple. First of all, just notice the difference between the skin and inside the apple, and the crunch and the noise that it makes, and you know, feel the difference in your mouth and the texture, and then just try and chew it 20 times. Like you'd be amazed at what goes on in your mouth. You know, you can feel it breaking down. But there's a lot more taste sensations in the mouth as well. So, and also once you start to eat slower, you probably won't eat as much because it's going to take about 20 minutes for your brain to register, oh yeah, like, you know, those hunger hormones are going to be satisfied. So your brain's registered, yep, started to eat, I'm okay now. Because that's the danger when you're always on the go and you're always rushing around. You eat too quickly and then you'll eat more because you're like, I'm still hungry, I'm still not full. So try and be a bit more mindful as you're eating. Enjoy your meals. Enjoy the meals with those of you who do have people around you. Enjoy the time with them. Enjoy the company, and you know, show gratitude and appreciation for the meal as well. So you're really being mindful to put yourself in that rest and digest state, and you know, try not to rush it. And then when you are plating up your food, be mindful of what we spoke about with building the foundations for the essential eating habits, and try and have your plate as full of colour as possible. The wider range of colour you have, then the more range of nutrients you're going to be putting into your body. You know, this time of year, it is great. You know, we're not all going to want to eat salads this time of year, like I get that, but we can make some amazing soups. But there's plenty of colour in terms of your vegetables if you're steaming them or making stir fries and things like that. So, you know, you can really boost your nutrient intake, which in turn is going to help to boost your immunity and help keep you healthy, especially, you know, during this time as well. So really try and think colour. And then when you're doing your mindful eating, you'll notice the colours there on your plate, but you'll also notice the different textures that the food brings as well. And then, as I was saying, as you're in a calmer state, you'll be able to digest your food better. And again, you know, you're going to avoid feeling bloated. You're going to avoid getting heartburn and anything like that. So, you know, like a meal should take at least like 20-30 minutes. Sometimes I do rush my son and tell him to hurry up, but that's generally for breakfast and on the school run because he seems to take ages. But maybe I should listen to him more, hey. Other things you can do to boost your digestion is think about having a probiotic supplement as well. That's what I would recommend. In your stomach, in your intestines, like you've got these little villi. I'm not waving at you, but they're like little fingers. You know, your food is absorbed on all these little cells that are around your fingers. And the probiotics help to go and say stimulate them, so then the food can be digested better, so then you can get more from your food. You know, it's about putting more of the good gut bacteria into your stomach to help aid your digestion, which in turn helps to boost your nutrient intake, which in turn is going to help to boost your immune system. And when you feel better and you've created that better, healthier body to live in, you're going to want to look after it more, but you're also going to want to move it more. And definitely a healthy body, or a healthy mind I should say, starts with a healthy body. They kind of go hand in hand. And that moves me on next to like your mindset and your beliefs, especially at this time. I really encourage people to try and be grateful, and look for the positives in what's happening right now. So a lot of the women I'm working with at the moment, it's about, okay, so what's been good about lockdown so far? What's yes, we're restricted in certain things that we can do. Yes, it's stressful, the unknown as well. But try not to spend too much time thinking about the future, because you kind of get lost over here, and this is where we start to feel a bit stressed and anxious about what ifs and things that we can't control. But what we do know is what we can control with what we do during this lockdown period. So set a goal of something that you want to achieve during this time. Like for myself, I know I've got a little bit of extra time, so I'm painting the bathroom, and so if I get the bathroom done this week, then I'll finish the kitchen. So it's those little goals, and it helps to give you a focus for when you wake up in the morning. It's like, right, okay, what am I going to do? So if you're not able to go to work, or you're not working, it just gives you a little bit of clarity, so you don't feel like the day is going to run away with you. I always recommend starting the day with setting an intention for the day and thinking about, okay, what needs to happen to make today great? Or what needs to happen today to get me one step closer to that goal that I've set to work towards? And having that focus, it helps to keep you positive and on track. And then once you achieve those little goals, it just helps to give you a little bit of a win and a boost in your positivity and sense of well-being, I guess, because like, I've achieved it, and you feel good, you get that sense of satisfaction. I also recommend that people start the day with a small gratitude practice, and finding at least 3 things that they're grateful for that they've got in their life right now. And that could be anything, like you're grateful, say for like the food in your cupboard, or the roof over your head, or you're grateful to be happy and healthy, you're grateful for the friends you have around you. There's these different things, and by starting your day that way, you put yourself in a state where you're more appreciative, and your whole physiology and your physical state will feel a lot calmer. So you're prepared and a bit more protected for whatever the day is going to bring at you, because you've got this little positive shield on. And once you can start to feel more positive about what's going on around you, like attracts like, so you'll start to attract more positive experiences and things that you want into your life as well. And it always feels so much nicer to be happy, to be grateful, to feel positive, and have that growth mindset, or not a negative restrictive mindset. Like if you think about how it feels when you're angry, like you feel like this rage, or think about how it feels when you feel sad, or you do feel worried about something, you have these feelings in your stomach, like your whole posture changes. So when you're happy, you're a lot more open, and so you'll definitely notice, like physically, how your body moves and feels. If you are feeling stressed or negative about something, like you're going to be quite closed, and then you're not really going to want to go and move. And there's people that react different ways. Some people, when they're stressed, they'll go and eat too much. Some people, when they're stressed, they don't eat at all. So it's trying to pull back on whatever is going on around you, and just pull back to being grateful in that moment, and working on what you can control, rather than trying to worry about things in the future, or worry about things that happened in the past. And this is really going to help you get through this lockdown, and want to make those right choices with your eating and your training as well. And feeling better by choosing the right thoughts and choosing the language that you're using, definitely going to have a powerful impact. So talk to yourself the way you would talk to your friend. Like tell yourself that you can do things. Like start to take notice of how often that you might talk down to yourself, like, oh, I'm no good at that, or I can't do this, or I shouldn't do that, or I'm no good at that. Try and turn that language around. So if you could say to yourself, oh, I can't do that right now, or when I can do this, what will I do? Or if I could do this, how can I? And then that just opens you up to a lot more possibility, and it gives you more options in whatever it is that you're talking to self about. And then also be more mindful of the interactions that you do have with those around you. You know, like if you're driving in the car and someone cuts you up, do you get frustrated? Do you get annoyed by them? Or do you just not let that impact you? Just say, oh, okay, I'll let them go on their way, and that's fine. Because, you know, if you see that person drive past you, getting more frustrated and annoyed, and then feel how that physically feels on you, and then that, you know, in turn that potentially can manifest into you and help, or, you know, lead to you not feeling good. And all you had to do was just say, nope, like just let them go. It's a totally different feeling. And then over time, the more you do that, the more you'll feel so much better, and then you'll have a lot more positivity, and you'll be attracting more. Like I said, you know, like attracts like, with the law of attraction. And then again, as I mentioned, you know, find one thing each day that you're looking forward to, or that one thing today that, you know, is going to make today great, and then try and find the happiness in the small things every day, you know. And that's going to help to try and lift the cloud, I guess, of uncertainty and worry and stress with lockdown. And I don't want to, you know, to belittle it for anyone, because, you know, it is quite serious what we're going through, but everyone's having their own experience with it. And it's about trying to make sure that you're on track with yours, and doing the best that you can for you, I guess. And like I said, you know, it's all about appreciating you, what you can do, looking after your body, making sure that you're staying active. Like, we can still get out and do our exercise every day. You know, I know we can still go and train with Tom and the team. So do one thing every day so you can get out and active. If you're not going to the studio, then make sure you're going for a walk or a bike ride. Do a little bit of a workout at home. You know, make sure you've got those foundations set with your food. Make sure that you're hydrating well, and also being kind to yourself. Like, learn to love yourself. Talk to yourself like you would your best friend, so you're not talking down to yourself, because the person you speak to most often in your life is you. So you might as well put positive language in there, and then that's going to help to increase your self-belief and your confidence as well. So that's all I was going to talk about in terms of mindset and belief. I also wanted to talk to you ladies tonight about a little bit more about what I do. So I run a Find Your Fierce online coaching program, and it kind of delves in a little bit more into what we've spoken about tonight. So we do have a look each week at different things. So I'm just showing you that now. So, you know, it's all done online. You join into a little community of fabulous females who are all empowered, and obviously we have a look at your mindset and beliefs a lot deeper, have a look at the gratitude a lot more, and again, the importance of having a healthy, fit body, on your mindset, and then how those interlink, and then, you know, getting connected to your passion and purpose as well. So, you know, if that's something you do want to know any more about, then do let me know. I am starting another online program which starts next week on Monday. You can find all the details about it by going to my website, or just drop Tom a message as well, or you can message me directly. And I will also give everyone a discount on that course as well for being part of TM Fit. And you'll definitely notice that getting the mindset stuff shifted and set right there, then that's going to definitely have help impacting every area of your life, in terms of your fitness, in terms of your training, and those relationships with those around you as well. So let me just stop sharing the screen and I can come back to everyone. So does anyone have any questions? I'm quite aware that I've just given a lot of information to everyone. I can unmute you all, or anyone can pop a message into the chat group. I have recorded this call as well, so I will be sending the link for it to Tom, so he can share it with you if you want to revisit anything that I've covered tonight. Otherwise, happy lockdown, everyone. So, you know, just make sure you stay safe, keep doing what you're doing, follow the rules, and you know, like I said, healthy body, healthy mind, those essential foundations, you've got those set, being active, and then staying positive. So the three definitely all interlinked. Oh, thank you, Kelly. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I would just, yeah, of course.
Can you just give me a very or a quick idea of this, like your sort of diet plan? I know obviously it's different from everybody else's because you're doing this competitive training or whatever.
Yeah.
But what sort of foods do you really have in your diet that you think it makes a massive difference?
Um,
Or
do
how
you
do you control what you regularly eat? I mean, do you have a little and often approach, or do you?
I guess my approach definitely is to not restrict things, because it's all about mindset. So it's a way of choosing what I want to eat. Like I notice if I haven't been eating enough vegetables, and I'll load up on a load of green vegetables. So, you know, for instance, in the morning I might have like some scrambled eggs with some spinach. I'm a big fan of smoothies first thing in the morning. So I'll put some protein powder in there, have some of my greens powder that I use in there, and then have like half a banana, just mix all of that up on the go. And then I space my eating out through the day. So, you know, lunch generally might be like a chicken salad wrap. I might have grabbed a small little protein bar or a handful of nuts mid-morning. It depends what I'm doing with my teaching and my training. Mid-afternoon, I might have like a crisp bread cracker with boiled egg on. And then in the evening, it's, what would I say, like, you know, chicken or fish. I'm a big fish fan, actually. And then I always have that with some, you know, small bit of potato or a small bit of rice, and then heaps of vegetables. So I think it's the consistency with eating regularly so you don't get too hungry, and then just making sure you're getting all your nutrients in. And I do eat chocolate, but then I tend to have like dark chocolate, and then I'll have a little square or two squares. Like I won't eat the whole block. You know, I will go and eat a burger or a pizza, but then, you know, the last time I had a burger, I think was about, I don't know, about 2 months ago or something. And before that, it'd been 6 months ago. So I don't restrict things. I just choose not to eat them, if that makes sense. And I focus on how I feel. If, you know, if I'm going to eat those foods, then I'll make sure that they're good quality. Like I would never go to McDonald's. You know, if I want a burger, I'll make sure that I'm getting a quality beef patty and things like that, and then really enjoy it as well. So I'm not beating myself up about it.
Yeah. Okay.
That
Thank
makes
you.
sense. That's all right.
Yeah.
Cool. Does anyone else have any other questions? Cool. Oh, portion sizes. Do you know what? I've actually got a great graphic that I will send to Tom, and he can share with you about portion size. So generally, if you have a look at your hand, portion size of meat will be about the size of your palm. Portion size for fish will be about the size of your whole hand. Like things like peanut butter and cheese, I think, is the size of your thumb. Think about like vegetables limitless. So if you're plating up, then half of your plate would be vegetables, a quarter of it like your source of protein, and then a quarter of it like your starchy carbohydrates, and then like a little bit of fat on there as well. So I do, like I said, I've got a couple of infographics on how to plate up your plate and the guide with your hands. So I'll send those through to Tom so he can share those with you as well.
Thanks. Sorry, I was wanting to know more on the veg side of things because I don't eat meat anymore.
Okay. In terms of
my plate sizes have been getting bigger in lockdown, but I don't tend to snack, so I tend to do 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
But I've noticed they've got bigger because I was getting hungry.
Are they getting bigger in terms of vegetables, or what else is on your plate?
Mainly veg. I probably only have fish now.
Yeah.
2 or 3 times a week, and the rest it's all vegetarian.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it might be that you just need to increase like the amount of like if you're having chickpeas, or you know, like the quinoa, you might be just need a little bit more of that. And that the vegetables that you're filling yourself up on, they might just not be fibrous enough and filling enough. So yeah, maybe yeah, just half your plate of vegetables, and then a quarter, like maybe just have a little bit more, say like potato or more substantial vegetables rather than just the green vegetables, because they tend to burn up quite quickly. And you know, they're filled with a lot of water, so then they don't always fill you up as well.
Yeah. I've realised though from what you were saying, I don't probably have any snacks, so I probably go quite a long period of time, so maybe I need to have something in between.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, that would be a good idea to do as well. You know, like if you're awake for the whole day, try and make your 3 standard meals slightly smaller. So what you'd have over the 3 meals, try and space it out into, say, like 5 smaller plates throughout the day. And yeah, just try and snack a little bit.
Okay,
Not
thank you.
too much on the wrong things. That's cool.
Thanks.
No worries.
Lovely. Thanks very much, Claire.
That's okay. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Like I said, I'll send you through the link, Tom, of the recording. And if anyone's got any questions about what I've spoken about tonight, then just feel free to run it through Tom, and he'll make sure that I get the question and get it answered for you.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Thank you.
Take care. See you later, ladies.
Bye.